Hey y'all, it's Zane, founder of Ships, and I'm bringing you the next devlog number 3. So today is going to be a little bit different. We're just going to go over some of the stuff that we're doing with regards to third-party, like sort of software. So uh, it's not just about building, say, our own ship, but helping contribute to the commons wherever we can. And so one of the things that we've been looking at is how do we build proper token models for like ships, and then sort of how do we look at sort of weighting contributions in a way that we can give like sort of credit to that. So one of the things that I'm just going to briefly talk about is this modeling workshop that I've been doing at the TEC, just participating in. And so that's been kind of interesting. And I've been going through some of the steps. And then Sourcecred. I've been working on an extension that allows you to make an extension to Sourcecred. So an extension for the extension. And that's like kind of interesting. And I'll just step through what some of that dev process looks like. And so if you manage to go over by the engineering commons, uh, they have this understanding Rye, the digital twin. And so basically what that looks like is that Rye uh, is a stablecoin that basically uses a PID type of like model to regulate the price of the stablecoin. And so what we're going to do today is I've been doing this workshop number 2. And so basically it involves using CAD to sort of generate a view of what the data looks like. And so a digital twin is this new term that they're coining to be how do you sort of build this model and then back test that model against the live data. So how do you make a kind of digital twin of the live running system? So I've just been going through that. And so basically making these kind of Jupyter notebooks um, and like sort of editing this, which is generated by the digital twin to do various things. I think in this model, I was, you can't see it here, but I was modifying it to the display the average price and the like redemption price and redemption rate, and a bunch of metrics. Either way, I just wanted to highlight this because it's kind of interesting, and it's just talking about some of the tooling that's going into modeling the system. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about very briefly, because this is going to be somewhat short, and we're talking about third-party tooling, is this feature for Sourcecred. So if you're not familiar with Sourcecred is basically kind of like PageRank for contributions. So these contributions could be on Discord, they could be on Discourse, they could be on GitHub. And so there's a whole bunch of like sort of extensions for this. So I was looking at the project and I wanted to make an extension for Near, so that way Near projects could use it. But the way to go about that would have meant pushing code into Sourcecred. And so we've dealt with this a lot within OpenRPC, where there's requests from third parties that want to like integrate. And for a while, we didn't really have a plugin system to do that. And so what we ended up doing was doing this kind of interesting plugin system. So I took up the mantle to start putting this plugin system for Sourcecred. So we have here is this feature import plugins. The code is really sort of terse, and I'll just talk about it from a very high level. So the sort of extension I made here was this package plugin. And so what package plugin does is allow you to specify whether or not you have a dynamic package, which could either be something that you push up on NPM, or it could be a module that's on your local disk. So you can do like dot forward slash xxx.js. And so it looks pretty much so like this. Looks like all the other plugins that are within Sourcecred. And sort of the interesting thing to note is that it's really kind of easy to do this like await process with the plugin module. And like the kind of caveat is that you're often looking for path to figure out what's the working directory that the person's in and how do you sort of load in an ambient include within the node environment. Okay, so where am I with this? Today was mostly looking at how I can test this. And so the large plan is to, it's actually not that large a plan. The plan is to basically make a dummy module um, that you can load in through test, and then you can test not only that module, but the individual JS file. So just like importing that and verify that it works, but actually having to talk to the NPM registry. So you don't have to make a network access that could be unreliable or the data could change. And so basically the way that the structure looks, I didn't really get to it too much today because of other administrative things. But basically the way that the structure looks is you have this plugin that you're exporting and you say, oh, cool, my custom plugin. And you lay out the sort of specification for that. So it could be like, oh, I have this declaration, etc. And then what you do, and this kind of fixtures folder, is you specify the package JSON, and then you basically npm install it. And then that allows you to, within this task, which is blank at the moment, describe the plugin and then run. And so I'm really excited to like hopefully land this by Monday, or at least get the PR accepted, and then it can go through whatever the normal Sourcecred dev cycle is. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Devlog number 3, or devlog number 2 if you're counting from 0. All right, find me on Discord. Check out the blog. You can also see me on Twitter Spaces, where I just talk about industry-wide things. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.